Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 30 of FTB Revelations. Today, I got a plan. I got a plan for what I want to do. And it's going to involve rituals from Blood Magic. Blood Magic has a bunch of different rituals, like there's dozens of them that do all kinds of cool stuff. And usually we only basically just do like a couple, right? I wouldn't mind playing with a few more of these this time around, but we'll see. There's a handful of stuff that's pretty neat ritual wise, like a bunch of rituals really. But let's take a look at what we got. First off, it's getting to be nighttime, so let's make it day because mobs and bad guys showing up. I can only sleep at night. Veto sleeping at night. Let me sleep during the day. All right, I'm patient. We do that, and then we can sleep right away. So yeah, there's rituals that like speed up plant growth. There's rituals that create lava. There's rituals that like generate ores. There's like all kinds of other stuff, right? The one we're focusing on though is the Well of Suffering, and what that is, it's a ritual that will harvest life points from nearby mobs. So if there's any mobs nearby the ritual, it'll automatically harvest LP from them and store it in an adjacent or nearby blood altar. So the way I typically set this up is we go underneath the blood altar here, and we let's get ourselves a little bit of a gadget to help us out with this, shall we? So like right here, is that about, yeah, like right there-ish, straight down. Cool. What am I at here? Let's go left 8 and right 8, because that's the max that you can do. And then we'll do a depth of 4 for now. How's that sound? Boom. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay, cool. And then just to help me out with it a little bit, up 2, does that seem fair? Down 1. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. That should be cool. We'll do this. Okay. Not too shabby down here. All right. Now, we might get some lighting up from our Feral Flare Lantern. We're going to have to see what the deal is and how far that reaches down. I'm hoping that it's high enough up that if I set up a mob farm eventually down underneath this area, that it won't impact it in any way. But we'll find out, right? Let's also get ourselves an exchanger because we are almost entirely dirt here, and that would be a cool thing to make happen. Booyah. So you can see it's already lighting up because Feral Flare. But I'm hoping, like, this is about where I'm going to set up the ritual, and then underneath this, we're going to set up a dark room with some cursed earth. We're going to have some mob spawns going on in there, and we'll probably have multiple ways of killing mobs. I'm probably going to want to collect essence from Industrial Foregoing, and we're probably going to want to get LP. So there's a handful of things we're going to want to do, and we're going to want to automate it all in such a way that we can kind of get everything we need, right? And I'll have to decide what I want to prioritize, right? LP versus Industrial Foregoing mob essence. But we'll figure that all out. So eventually this will be like a full-blown mob farm that'll service all my, mob drop needs. Essentially. That's the plan, at least. I think. Is there anything else that I might... I suddenly remembered, out of the blue, that Woot, which is in the pack, has a blood magic upgrade that we can... If you guys have seen me play with Woot before, it's basically like a mob factory production thing. And I only bring this up because Woot's a pretty cool way to get certain mob drops. It basically is a factory that produces mob drops using RF rather than actually spawning entities, which A, is really good for servers because entities are bad on servers, and B, it's a neat setup, and I've never done it before. So like on one hand, setting up a Cursed Earth mob farm, you guys have seen me do a million times, right? So maybe Woot would be different because you haven't seen me do that before, because I don't think I've ever set up Woot with blood magic integration. And that might be cool. So I think there's a different ritual that will work for Woot. And that might be cool. So let's start off by getting our ritual stuff that we need. And then we'll set up Woot, and we'll see if we can't get that thing producing life essence for us. And that would be cool. Alright, so let's get started figuring this thing out, right? So we're going to need a stick. We're going to need 4 elemental inscription tools. Now these guys are magma cream, obsidian, gas tier, and lapis. Cool. Magma cream, obsidian. Hopefully I have a gas tier. And lapis. Cool. And I'm going to turn you guys off for a minute. That's the one that feeds into the tank, I think. Or is that the one that pulls out? I don't know. We're going to turn them both off. So I'd like a relatively full blood altar for this. I don't think I need it, really. But I'd like one. So that's what I'm going to do. Just filling it up nice and quick. And then we're going to upgrade the altar and make it super powerful. So we'll get, like, you know, sacrificial upgrades and a few other things going on. Not too shabby, right? There we go, nice and full. All right, so let's put these dudes down here, and we'll let the altar do its thing. So this should be the first little dude. It's about a bucket's worth. Man, I really should have put some speed upgrades on this dude. How hard would speed upgrades be at this point? Just some sugar and some blank slates? I can do that. How about just 8 of them? Right? Because I've got blank slates, I can get sugar. That should be cool. That'll at least speed up our operations a little bit, and that might be nice. See, now he's trying to automate because I, you know, broke all my levers, but that's okay. Okay, now everybody should be back to normal. Sweet. That should have been a nice quick, and we're back up to tier 4, so that's cool. And now let's fill this dude up real quick. And just see how much faster he runs now that we've got some speed ritual upgrades on there. See how much quicker that is? Noticeably faster, right? Definitely, definitely better. Not too shabby. Alright, now what you can do is, with blood magic, you can place individual ritual stones, or you can craft yourself a ritual diviner, which is 100% worth it. And what that does, orange, green, blue, yellow. What that does is, A, tells you the resources you need to make each ritual, and also it'll automatically place the ritual blocks for you, which is super cool. Hey, there's slate princesses? That's cool. What do you make? Do you literally make slates? 'Cause that's neat. Gray tinted comb, huh? Hey, I'm working here. Silly angry zombies. Let's sleep through the night just because of that. I've got the area relatively well lit. What I'll probably wind up doing is, once we get into something like Astral Sorcery or something, we'll set up like a ritual to keep mobs away. Alright, so now that's the ritual diviner that can handle basic rituals. So tier 3 rituals with a tier 3 altar use those guys. But then there's a 4th tier of ritual stone, which you get with dusk. So that's going to be 2 blocks of coal that go in here. And the dusk requires tier 4 ritual, or tier 4 altar in order to craft. You can see that, tier 4. And then that allows you to access the higher tier stuff. Now it also needs a demonic slate, which needs tier 4. So let's get one of those as well. And that's a pretty good amount of LP, actually, now that I think about it. So am I going to have enough here? We'll see, I guess. How much LP is that, actually? A lot. A lot more than I had. How much is that? 15. Wow, not bad. Not bad at all. I find it's about 2... If you do 1 cast of the healing spell, you'll pretty much survive, but you start losing health a little bit. And if you do 2 casts, so like there's basically 2 clouds affecting you, you'll survive a lot better. Imbued Slate. It's a close one. You guys almost got to see me accidentally kill myself, which I know you would have loved. So there's your second demonic slate. That's cool. I'm just going to fill this guy up again, because I need a lot of LP in my soul network. So what I'm going to do... actually, can I get the tier 4 orb at this point? Yeah, it just needs 40,000 LP. Might be able to pull that off. I might be able to pull that off. If I'm ready with this and we're spamming it, while it's crafting, this might work out. We'll see. I'm not feeling too great about this. Maybe. We might pull this off. Actually, yeah, I think I can pull this off. I need one anyway, so... Nice. That was cool. We got one. That's awesome. Okay, so that'll be... Let's just fill that up, because I need a lot of LP in my soul network, so having a full altar here to work with while I'm doing other things will be nice. Actually, right-click this to bind it to yourself first, and then boom, you're filling up. Sweet, lots of LP. All right, so now that I've got this guy going, right, I can upgrade him with these inscription dudes, and then boom, Ritual Diviner of Dusk. Cool. Now, my understanding is I need a ritual called the Ritual of the Infernal Machine. So let's find that. Shift right-clicking toggles the ritual. So these are all the different rituals that exist. Green Grove, Interdictions, Siphoning, Speed, Grounding, High Jump, Laying of the Filler, Ritual of Suppression, Gate of the Fold. Look at all these cool sounding rituals, right? We should really play with some of these, but we're looking for Infernal Machine. Satiated Stomach, Sanguine Urn, Well of Suffering. Well of Suffering is what you'd use to kill actual mobs. Forsaken Souls, Regen, Living Revel, Sound of that. That's cool. Falling Tower's a neat one. Serenade of the Nether. We circled through it again. Let's see. Ritual of the Mechanical Altar? Maybe Woot will tell me. Isn't there a book for Woot? I think there's a book for Woot. Yeah, there is. The README. Oh. Item is called Woot Guide. Hey, there we go. Cool. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm going to look through here and see if I can't find things. Factory upgrades. Blood magic. Hey, there we go. Hey, here's some things. Okay. The factory can support upgrades to assist with blood magic. Primarily, these are for generating life essence. They are available at the same time as the traditional Well of Souls ritual. Using the tank upgrades in this ritual will generate life essence into export tanks. The different tiers change the number of sacrifice runes used when killing the mobs. The ritual will look for the factory in a 10-block radius, both horizontally and vertically. All right, so that fills up a tank. Mechanical altar will generate life essence directly into an altar. That's what we want. The different tiers change the sacrifice amount per mob. This ritual uses the standard altar mechanics for determining the amount of life essence. Example, using the altar rune setup. The ritual will look for the factory heart in a 10-block radius, both horizontally and vertically. Okay, cool. We'll look for an altar in a 5-block radius and 10 blocks vertically. Cool. And then Ritual of the Clone Stool. Using the crystal upgrades, and this ritual will accelerate the growth of crystal in a 7x7 area and 5 high. Oh, that's cool. The ritual will search for the factory heart. As these are cloned mobs, there's no uniqueness boost like the blood magic crystal growth ritual. Okay, cool. So what we want is Mechanical Altar. That's what we want. So that's one I've chosen. Sweet. So now if we look at this, we'll see how many runes we need. So in total, we need 24 runes plus a master rune. Okay. So what we want to do is craft those up. So we're going to need 28 runes because a master rune needs 4 runes, right? So this is not too bad. It's reinforced slates. So we've got a bunch of those. That's cool. Let's get to work. Ritual stones. Boom. I will borrow my orb. It doesn't really matter. Well, some recipes it does, but higher the better, right? So we're going to want 28 of these. So I should have no problem making these, right? That's going to be 32. That's going to be your master ritual stone, and then we should be cool. So usually what I do when I'm setting this up is, let's bring this down a bit and just make sure. It said 10 vertically, right? So it can be up to 10 blocks away from the altar. So I'll probably stick the master ritual stone here. And we'll see, because that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish, 7-ish blocks away. So that should be sufficient. And then we can see what it looks like to have that there. That looks pretty good, actually. We could probably bring it up 1. Let's consider that. Yeah, that feels pretty good to me. Now, that's going to be a little bit tight, but not terribly so. I think I can work with this. So by right-clicking, it's going to place and use the ritual stones. You can see them being used on my hotbar. And automatically place the appropriate ones. Sweet. All right. So that, my friends, is your ritual. So we're going to place a Woot altar underneath this so that the ritual can transfer life points from Woot, which is going to generate mobs and kill them for me, and place the LP into the altar. Neat. All right, guys, so here's the basic gist with Woot. It's a multi-block structure that you build up. There's 4 tiers of it, and each tier requires more and more resources. So here's like a tier 1 factory. It needs a handful of things. You can create a few basic mob types. Tier 2, there's like more mobs supported, and there's higher tier upgrades available. Tier 3 allows up to 3 tier 4 upgrades and all that stuff. And then tier 4 is the biggest one, and that supports like all the things, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to go tier 3 to start. Hopefully that's not too resource intensive, considering my current resource situation, which, if I'm being honest, isn't great. I've been very lazy about mining in this series so far. Thus far, I haven't really needed it. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I think my plan for today is just to get started with Woot. Then we're going to back up the world and give you the world upload. And then next episode, we'll come back, finish up the mob structure for Woot, and then integrate it with blood magic and all that cool stuff. So hopefully that'll work out. So to get started in Woot, I'm going to take a quick nap, because it's late, and I need a nap, because I'm tired. Much better. Now, to get started in Woot, we're going to need a few things. First off, we're going to need a mob prism, or something like that, right? This guy, Ender Shard. Hit mob with Shard to capture. Kill mobs to fully program. Shard must be in your hotbar, can be cleared in a crafting table. All right, so we need one of these dudes. So in order to make this, we need a Stygian iron anvil. And then we're going to need some dyes. We're going to need a mesh dye, and a plate dye, and a core dye, and a shard dye. And I think that's about all we need. And I think these guys are made with iron plates. Is that right? Yeah, they are. Cool. And that's made with Stygian armor and a hammer. Yeah, hammer. That's what's up. Let's get one of those right away, because that sounds cool. Yeah, hammer. And Stygian armor is, there's Stygian iron ore, which you can get from the world. Why do I feel like that's... Okay, there you go. It's craftable. It's not available in the world by default, but it is craftable. So let's get like a stack of that, or as much as we can. I can get more netherrack. Let's get just, a bunch of that stuff. That works for me for now. Yeah, so Stygian iron ore is not available in the world. You cannot find it. What you can do, can you pulverize it? Or is it only smeltable? Really? Stygian iron dust. Oh, a Stygian anvil can make 3 dust? Well, today I learned. Oh well. A little bit too late. But, you know, what are you going to do? We'll just smelt this stuff up and hope that it, you know, is good enough. If we need to get more, then we'll do it the mesh way. Looking good to me. Okay. So now that we've got some of that stuff, let's get our Stygian anvil here. So that's going to need an iron block and an anvil. Straightforward. And I believe that needs to be on top of a magma block. Which shouldn't be too bad to do, right? If you look in the book, it'll tell you that. Stygian anvil. The anvil must be placed on top of a magma block. Cool. For now, I'm just going to stick it right there. Hooray! Sweet. Now, to make your Stygian armor plate, we want a plate die, which is a stone slab and an iron plate. So let's get an iron plate the expensive way, and then for the plate die, we're going to want a stone slab. And I think you do that. Where's my hammer? Yeah, hammer. So close. Hey, there we go. Plate die. Nice. So then we can get more plates. I think you place this on here and do that. And that gets you more plates. Cool. Now, if I put a few in there, does that work? It does. So we're going to want to be careful with our magnet here. But that works, right? Yeah, I like that. And then just right-click to get that off of there. So we're going to need each of these dyes. So quartz, redstone, and iron bars. Bars, quartz, redstone. There we go. There's all your dyes. Nice. So to make the dye, you put the item on the anvil and then drop the plate on. And then everything else, you place the dye on the anvil and drop the item on. Seems easy enough. Okay, cool. So we can remove all our dyes now. So we've got all that covered. And now we look at making an ender shard, which is an Eye of Ender with a shard dye. Okay, so we're going to pop that guy in there. We're going to get an Eye of Ender, please. And then, ta-da, we've got ourselves an ender shard. Sweet. Now, are those used for other things? Not really. All right, not a big deal. We'll put two of them away. And now we have to decide what mobs we want to kill. So the Woot mob farm, the downside of it, because there has to be a downside, right? The downside of the Woot mob farm is it can, I think, only do one mob type at a time. So what we have to do to get these, to choose what mob type we want to get. And I'm going to pick Enderman because I'm going to pick Enderman. Actually, let's go to the end. Let's forget about making it daytime. Let's just pop over to the end. I'm going to put you guys away. And what I think I'm going to do is just put these things in here for the time being, and that should be cool. So I need this guy to come along with me. Let's pop over to the end. Woo. The Ender Dragon's still here, remember. So what we need to do is hit a mob with the Ender Shard. Hello, dragon. Boom, and that'll program it, and it captures it, right? And then it's going to tell us how many kills we need to make in order to charge it up. Fully programmed. Really? Already? Well, that was quick. It's glowing and everything. Well, that was cool. Because they're Endermen and they, you know, they deserve it. Well, that was quick and easy. I thought you had to kill a few more mobs than that. But that was really quick. So long story short, you hit the mob with the shard to program it, and then you have to kill the mob a certain number of times in order for it to become fully programmed. Cool. And then, once we have the fully programmed prism, like we do... Oh, I even got one of these, huh? Then what we want is to make the mob... Let's see, factory controller. To put on a factory, you'll need a glowing ender shard, which we got. Use this in the Stygian anvil to produce the programmed controller. Mob controllers retain their programming when broken. So yeah, we need a mob controller from Woot. So one of these guys, factory controller? That's the factory controller. That might be it. Oh, that's the intern. Yeah, I like the name of that block. Factory controller. Yeah, so we need a factory base and a Woot controller core. Okay, and that's going to be a core die and a prism. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, so we want one of you, which needs you and you, which means making one of you. How close are we to what we need here? Orange die. Do. We have no dandelions? We do have you, though. Then why didn't you... Okay. I'm not going to ask questions. Actually, now I need yellow dye. There's got to be some dandelions around here somewheres. I thought I got a bunch of these recently, but maybe I am remembering incorrectly. Those aren't dandelions. There's one. Got you. Okay, now you also need cactus green and purple dye. Luckily, we have a lot of cactus. Okay, and that should be prism. Oh, I just used my red dye. Poppy. Pulverize for me, would you? Thanks, Chief. Prism! Woot! I get to make that joke a lot. Core die plus Stygian iron plate. Okay, so we're going to want you guys back out. Okay, I'm going to put you here for the time being, just because that would probably be easiest. So core die plus Stygian armor plate plus prism equals controller core. Nice. Okay, cool. So that's that. Now factory base doesn't look that bad. That looks like a pretty straightforward recipe. Soul sand? No, soul stone. Okay. Soul dust, which is just hit soul sand on the thing. So I'm assuming you don't want anything there. You're gonna do that. Okay, maybe not. Soul dust? Oh, it's just a crafting recipe. Never mind. Okay. Easy enough, right? And then we can do that, and that's cool by me. Okay, now to make the mob controller that we want, we place the fully programmed Ender Shard on here, and then we drop these two and hit it with the hammer. And that gives us a factory controller mob Enderman tier required tier 3. So in order to spawn Enderman in our Woot multi-block structure, we need a tier 3 Woot structure, which is what I'm going for. So it just works out. Nice. Okay. So now the good news is that when we place and break this factory controller, it retains its knowledge of the fact that it's an Enderman. So we never have to capture Enderman again. And we can replace the factory controller anytime we want in the multi-block structure. So once we build the multi-block structure, we can go ahead and put the Enderman on there. It'll generate Ender Pearls for us, among other Enderman drops. And then if we decide, hey, I need some skeleton drops, we can just break the Enderman controller and place a skeleton controller there, for example, and it'll start producing skeleton drops. Neat? All right, so I think that's a good wrapping up point for the episode. We've got the mob controller for Woot, and our next steps, therefore, will be to build a Woot structure underneath our altar there. So what I'm doing is backing up my inventory, and we're going to do a world backup real quick, and then you guys will have a world download available to play within, and hopefully that is fun for you. Yeah, I think that's about it, right? Nothing else I need to do inventory-wise. I'll give you guys a little bit of experience here. Make sure you give you everything I've got to play with. So, yeah, I would say that's a good wrapping up point for the episode. We'll come back next time. We will build out the Woot multi-block structure. Just as a reminder, to make that, we need a factory tier 3, which is going to need some capstones. It's going to need some bone, flesh, blaze, and ender casings, and quite a lot of them. So hopefully they're not too terribly hard to make. Tier 4 is a little bit more expensive than that, and it requires nether casings. But we'll probably be upgrading to Tier 4 at some point, because I think you can even kill withers in here. But, like, on one hand, I don't do Woot a lot, so I'm giving you guys something new to see. On the other hand, like, just having a machine that generates nether stars seems boring to me. It's a lot more fun to make, like, a wither spawner / killer. So we'll see what happens with that. I may or may not use Woot for doing withers. Dude, I am so used to running so fast. Like, look how slow. It feels so slow. Like, I feel like I'm snared. Like, do I have a debuff? Wow, without that dark iron armor, I'm just not at all used to how slow I am. Like, look at me. I feel like I'm tiptoeing around. All right, Devil20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time. World download will be available in the usual place. CurseForge in, within a day or two. Usually I get it up. All right, guys. Take it easy.